Good morning, friends. It is bucketing down here. Turn off pallet cam for today. Fucking g'day! What's happening? Let's get a little bit of Nukealope up here. How cool's this? This arrived while I was away, so I haven't done anything assembly-wise. So that's what we're going to do today, is assemble some Nukealope. How wonderful's the hair looking today too? Oh, glorious, Deno. Oh. No, this is exciting. So I am probably not going to get to play with this for a little while, and that's a shame. I may set up the actual vignette. I may set up the vignette to have a crack at this showdown. But yeah, as it stands, that's going to be following my rules of playing games on my channel, which is to say that it will not be done until this is fully painted, and that includes the vignette dudes. So we're at least a couple of weeks away from playing with this, because I do tend to do my Kingdom Death models to a higher than board games standard. I try to do them pretty well. Most people have seen my Kingdom Death models, and I would assume. So yes, so we're going to have a little while before I get to play with these toys. That's okay though. I don't need to be first. Even though Ricky Bobby said if you're not first, you're last. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my understanding of this monster and the context of it in the game. So the Screaming Antelope is the second monster you ever face in Kingdom Death. In the core game, you have a couple of showdowns against the White Lion, and then you can face off against a Screaming Antelope. And the Antelope is in a weird spot. It's generally a little bit easier to fight than the Lion. And so, as a result, people tend to fight against it a fair bit more than the Lion, because it also has a tendency to give out more loot, gives you out more resources. And that's been its place for a long time. It's had some changes over the course of the last few releases. It's had an update to its settlement locations, so that the items that you build from it are a little bit less effective. It's had an update to the actual showdown, so that it gives out less resources, and so it's in a fine spot at the moment. But this release is a really exciting one, because they did a version of the White Lion as the very first vignette of Death, called the White Jigger Lion, and that was an amazing release, because what it did is it revitalized this monster, which everyone plays very early, their first Kingdom Death experience. So the vignette adding a whole new raft of things that you can experience is a really cool thing for enfranchised players such as myself. It's less exciting for people that are just starting, but I'm not that person. So this is a combination of a Screaming Antelope, and it's come into a radiated zone from the Dragon King. So the Dragon King is another monster that you can face. It's a node 3, sorry, so you get it around Lantern Year 8, and so for most players, they wouldn't face off against the Dragon King because it's actually an expansion monster. They'd face off against the Phoenix. So again, this little expansion sits itself quite comfortably in the good for players that have been in the game for a long time. But these little vignette fights are a great way to introduce players to the game that are maybe not complete board game novices, at least. I may actually take this to my mate's house on Tuesday night and play this showdown with my normal gaming group, if it's a good showdown. I haven't looked into it yet. Anyway, so this Screaming Antelope has come across a Dragon King, and it has mutated due to the radiation in the area. The Dragon King is all about radiation and nuclear meltdowns and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a mutated Screaming Antelope that has radiation. That's the extent of what I know about this monster. I know how much I've enjoyed recent releases by Kingdom Death Team. So I have absolutely no doubt that this will be a smash hit. Alright, I'm going to use something here that many people would probably not know, and is the main reason why I use this version of plastic glue. This little metal thing doesn't burn, and so if you use a little bit of naked flame here, you can clear out any dried glue, and that will stop the glue from being unusable. How good's that? Breaking my heart. Ooh, love that smell. Alright, so I haven't needed a assembly guide for a while, but these things tend to be pretty out there, and this looks like it might have some interiors that need to be placed in there first. Maybe that is the interior. Let's have a look. So yeah, it's been a hectic couple of weeks. I had a trip for work. It doesn't sound that hectic, I suppose, but it was. So like this, maybe. Yeah. So I just find, there it is. That's the interior, obviously. See, I've done a little work on the Spira dwarves. I don't know if people have seen where they're at. That's where the dwarves are at. So we're not far off finishing. I've probably got another hour or two, I would think. I've got to do. There's a few little bits of fabric and stuff, and then a few eyes, and then things like the candle, book, the teddy bear, the owl, just little details. And then we'll sort of refine everything and what have you. But yeah, it's a fun little bunch of little guys to paint. Really, I like them. Okay, so this little Bobby Dazzler. Thank you. So yeah, I might try and finish them before I start painting these little Campiones. Ooh, ooh. Is it like that? No. Is it like... Come on, man. There, that's going there. Excellent. Party time. So I recently did a couple of videos with the great Bra Mithra, who is a Kingdom Death content creator, as well as, among other things, the great man. And we rated all of the Kingdom Death expansions, the monster expansions, and the monsters in their various nodes. And this Screaming Antelope was my number 1 creature in its particular node. I think it's a great little monster to fight. I think it does a lot of good stuff. Oh my god, is there a second chunk in there? Abort mission, Deno. Abort! There is a second chunk. Goodness me. So to get a cool additional expansion for this guy is great. Take 2. Hiya. Excellent. Alright, 1 torso. What is this then? This must be at the back or something. So this is a little leg chunker. We're going to have this sort of jobbo. That's that one. Very nice. In case you're wondering what these little bits of brown on my thumb is, it's not poop. I didn't do a bad job wiping my butthole. It's Vegemite from a Vegemite and cheese scroll that I had for breakfast. So there you go. This is here, isn't it? This is his chest plate. Stop dropping things, Dano. You idiot. Oh, there it is. Nukealope, Nukealope, he's Nukealope. Ow. Oh, yes. He's a staunch looking boy, this Nukealope. This one like this, maybe? Yes. So I do tend to do some gap filling on my Kingdom Death monsters. So that'll be the other reason for the delay. I'll have to fill these little gaps in here. I'm still old school. I use milliput for my gap filling. I know the trendy thing to do these days now is sprue goo. But I'm not about that sprue goo. Milliput all the way. Okay, Timbo. I've been painting, mate. You haven't seen this, but this is my 7 dwarves. They're making some headway. Little guys. I know. What a legend. The Crimson Brush draws ever closer. What are we at now? 2 months and something days away. 2 months and 3 days for the Crimson Brush. Well, too close for people that are hoping to put together projects. Still a fair way off for me. Although I do have things to organise and pay for and get. I was looking forward to a nice relaxing day of watching the cricket today. Yeah. Appreciate most of you would not understand that reference. Thank you, mate. Yes, the hair's looking beautiful today. The cricket is a sport that not many Americans understand. That's fine. It's not really the point of my stream, but the cricket normally goes for 5 days. It ended after 2 days. An appalling performance by one of the teams. All right. Except for the great Travis Head. And these foolish games are tearing me apart. What goes on here? Is there a face on the end of her head, on her tail? How good is that? That's crazy shit, man. Could also be a penis. You never can tell with Kingdom Death whether you're going to get a face, a hand, a penis. Just glorious stuff. That's it. I wonder what the reason for that is. There's usually a reason for faces. More hands. Goodness. Alright, so I've got 2 horns left on that. I know where they go. We just got to find where these hands go. Ooh, I reckon they're in there. Yes. So that would have made sense to glue them down before I glued it together. Probably. It is done now. Alright. What about... Yeah, this is face tail. Tail face. Excellent. Get around it. These will just be up here. That'll be easy enough. Yeesh. Dog's asleep under the gaming table. Oh no, Dino, don't bump the hands. Oh, I think it's a female. Maybe. Yes. The antelope. I love Nukealope toys. Alright, so I've got two little bits to figure out where they go. This is a hand. There is a spot here maybe. What do we think? Like that? No. Is this supposed to join to this somehow? Head holding a hand. That is awesome. Hand holding a head. Nukealope! Nukealope! Yeah. What a guy. Alright. Put his tail on. I don't know where these two bits are supposed to go. We'll leave the horns till everything's dried. That'll be good enough. Must be like that. That. There we go. Little face head. What a sick model. That's going to be great fun to paint. I'm excited. Alright, we've got 4 little survivor models to do. Figure those out at a later stage. We've got Royal Crusader female. We've got Monday. We've got Gnoston Stone Smasher. And we have Royal Crusader male. Let's do this. Let's do this guy. D. I'm reaching a point with my Kingdom Death collection where I have sufficient survivor models to do anything and everything. So the one thing that I decided I was going to do a little while ago but haven't as yet is actually commemorate wonderful survivors that have survived campaigns and miniatures that I've used to represent them by writing their names on the bases. So That way I'm forcing myself to use different models. Because I think that'd be pretty cool, and it'd force me to use different models. Because at the moment, when I get a bone axe, I just grab out generic bone axe guy, and that guy represents a survivor wearing a bone axe or wielding a bone axe. And that is fine, but it'd be cool if every time I took a specific survivor out, regardless of who they were, if I gave them, or regardless of what they were wielding, if I gave them a specific name. My next campaign is going to be one with Ark survivors. I want to do a little bit more testing of gatherism. I want to do a little bit more Ark survivors testing, but I think the thing I'm most excited for is to go back to collectivism. I really like collectivism. Yeah, unfortunately I've got a jam-packed day today, so I'll probably have to stop after assembling this little champion. That should be enough to get us going. Yeah, my Sunday mornings have been a bit full on recently. You want to come and say hi, Moss? Come and say hello. We might have to go to the shops a bit earlier.
Why?
Because I've got another recording.
Who?
Rah.
Mitzvah?
Yep.
What time?
11. Yep.
Cool, man.
11. So we'll go Bunnings and then the gym. Try and finish this in like 20 minutes or so.
I'm sure your friends will later. Continue.
Put your head on the screen. Good work. Funny kid. I got a lot of games arriving either tomorrow or arrived this week. A lot of games. People that are subscribed to the channel for painting. Good news is one of those games is going to have a bit of painting. G'day Amon Ishtar. Yes, there's quite a few little bits here. But yeah, that game that's coming is called Grim Coven, and it's got some actually really sensational models that I'm looking forward to painting, so that should be good. This for the base as well. Must be like something. Might show off some of the models from Grim Coven actually. Hey Ellie, what are you doing? Excuse me for a moment while I blow my nose. How exciting, what riveting television you're all observing. Fantastic. That's great stuff. What are you doing down there, dog? So, anyone that is a Kingdom Death aficionado, can anyone tell me what type of monster this armor's from? Because this does not look familiar to me. Crusader, Royal Crusader. What is that? Is that Honeycomb Weaver? Is that what armor this is? I have not seen this armor set before. Most of the armor I can recognise, but not this one. Oh yeah. I'm rewatching Stranger Things at the moment in preparation for season 5, which comes out on Thursday, FYI. And I'd just like to say that it is a very good show. I am struggling a lot more than I should be with this. There we go. Yeah, it is a very, very, very good show. Season 2 and 3 could not stop watching, and I've just started season 4. I had some wonderful experiences as a tabletop role player, but I really struggled with the coming up with a compelling background side of it. The best characters I ever played was half-orc barbarian. And he came to life through a series of very poor decisions. In keeping with my very low intelligence score. He died an ignoble death, charging into a room and falling into a pit. It was a great moment. I really love the idea of tabletop role-playing games, and I did some stuff during COVID with my friends, but I've just never been able to. We've never been able to stick to it. We started a D&D campaign a few months ago, and without, like, for probably a good solid 6 months, we had 5 players coming to games on a Tuesday night, and then we did one session of D&D, which was a great session, by the way, and we then spent the next 6 months without getting everyone together again, and it just died. We couldn't get together again. Crazy. That is a very accurate statement. I've got to find out. That'd be funny. I've got to find out this guy's name. I'm going to go look at the web page. And then we'll have a look at some Grim Coven models as well while we're at it. Nukealope Kingdom Death. Vignette of Death. Okay, so the 4 heroes are called Noston, Monday, Ash Boom, and Ash Root. I think it might not be Ash Boom, I think it might be Ash Bloom, but let's call it Ash Boom. Boop. Boop. Alright. So yes, we've got Stone Circle Hot. Yeah, cool. So we've got heaps of cool new things for me to explore when I end up defeating this character in its vignette. But first and more importantly is we need to assemble and paint all of the figures. But anyway, let's have a look at the Grim Coven. So this is what I'll be painting next, I think, after these champions. So I didn't get painted models. So there's some pretty full-on sculpts. I hope the sculpts look good and look paintable. Sometimes these things have too much detail, but yeah. So we'll go for slightly better than my normal level of quality. Look at that guy. He's called a gunslinger. Pistol and big old cannon. What a legend. Looks good. Detail looks good. And then, so in the game, if you get too much lament, which is like their evil thing that's corrupting you, but also makes you more powerful, you turn into a corrupted version of your character. So that guy's got 3 arms, 4 arms. Champion. This is called duality, so she's got a good and a bad side to her. So she's got 2 wings, evil side of wings and good side of wings. And then she turns into this, I don't know, 4-winged creation. Cool. This one's called the Technomancer. That one looks fun. And then the corrupted version looks sick. This guy's got a demonic sword. And so as the game progresses, he grows, his sword gets more fuel and gets stronger and stronger. And there's his corrupted version with the sword. Look at the sword going. Sick. Very good. And then you got all these monsters that we fight against. That is the Undead General. Is that not a freaking sick model? Look at that guy. That is awesome. That is so cool. This is called the Convergence, which is like some, yeah, crazy swirling mist thing. That's cool. Oh, sick. Is that a person being trapped? That's awesome. This is like a bug lady, vampire bug lady. And then this is little minions that you have that join the fight. So you're fighting against the big boss, plus all these little gribblies, skeleton warriors, champions. And then you also have a lieutenant. Is it lieutenant? I can't remember the name. But there's a secret lieutenant as well. Elites. There we go. Elites. And this is all the stuff. And this is more stuff. But yeah, this is expansions. Look at this. So there's a giant graveyard dragon, undead dragon, glorious. Looks sick. Get around it. This is a new character, Death Jester. Love it. Haven't seen the model for that yet. This is a elite enemy, a little frog guy. That model looks sick, by the way. I don't know what that is, but looks like the Watcher from the Deep from Lord of the Rings. This guy's called the Mannequin now, which is fun. And yeah, there's a vampire elite model, sneaking rat. Oh, you get little sheep. Yep, nice. Little friends. Oh yeah, and this guy, look at that. The artwork is awesome. So that's coming. It was supposed to be here on Friday, and it hasn't arrived. And I'm actually just very annoyed because in my post app it says on its way, delivery expected yesterday. Ridiculous. And it hasn't moved since last Tuesday. So I'm actually very aggravated about that. I want it to turn up so I can play with my new toys. It is fine. I am a mature adult with many games already, as my girlfriend is very frequently reminding me of. Shoulder pads, knee guard things, maybe. Yeah, I'll have to ask Bra who the armor comes from. Alright, so the next few weeks, what do they look like for me in terms of hobby and modelling? So yeah, I'll finish off the 7 Dwarves. I do a little pattern down here and stuff. So I just want to do some things here, maybe make this look more like a watermelon, and then do the candle, a few other things. So I'll finish this off. And then yeah. I'll finish that off. I'll do maybe the Nukealope and its little attendants, so we can do the thing, and then we'll get into some Grim Coven. So that'll be fun. Yeah, and then all the while I will be playing games on the usual bat channels. One little arm. That is a sick looking shield. Look at that. That is awesome. I have no idea. Is it Silver City maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know. This guy is sick. Alright, we're going to leave it there because this stuff will need to dry before I do the rest of it. And that is going to do us for the day. So, short stream, lots to do today. So I'll be doing a recording with Bra again later on, and that'll be my last one. We're doing it in preparation for the Black Friday sales, which are happening this coming week for Kingdom Death. If you're not familiar with Kingdom Death's sales, they tend to go absolutely bunter on a Black Friday. They give out stuff like it's going out of fashion, so get around it. Get in there and buy yourself some new Kingdom Death toys if you're that way inclined, which I am. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch you all again soon.